Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutpad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha. We are starting chapter 16 today, the divine and the demoniac natures. Bhagwan in chapter 15, he spoke about his abode, our abode, and how we can reach to our abode. He spoke that also. And what qualities we need to be there, he spoke about that. Then Bhagwan spoke that he is living in everyone's heart, and from him comes remembrance, from him comes all the knowledge, from him comes matta smritirjñānaponamcha. So remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness, it all comes from him. Bhagwan says, I am the Ved, I am the compiler of the Vedas, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and from all the Veda, whom you have to know is me. And whoever knows me, yomam evam asamudho janati purushottamam. The Vedas talk about Purushottam, Bhagwan Purushottam. Here, in this one, especially in this one, he very clearly says that Purushottam, what people are calling, that is me. Chapter number 15, Shloka number 19. In chapter number 14, he had ended up saying, people are thinking of Brahman. That Brahman is me. The foundation of that Brahman is me. There he ended the 14th chapter. 15th chapter, he says, Purushottam. The Vedas talk about Purushottam, Puran Purush, Purushottam. That Purushottam is me. Shloka number 19. Yomam evam. Anyone who certainly knows this without a doubt, asamudhaha. Janati Purushottam. That who knows that I am the Purushottam, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sa sarvavid bhajati imam. He is the knower of everything. And he renders devotional service unto me. Sarva bhavena bhavata. Bharata, in all respects, Bharata. So in these two shlokas you have seen, Bhagwan has given. He in chapter 14, he said, I am the Brahman. Now he's saying, I am the Paramatma, I am the Purushottam. What Vedas are referring. In chapter 13, he has spoken, I am the Kshetra, I am the Kshetragya, what Vedas are talking about. And before that, he has spoken about Bhakti Yoga. And before that, he has shown his form. So from the form, he has shown his form, he has spoken about that. Then he has spoken about Brahman. Then he has spoken about Purushottam. Whatever words you find in Vedas, everything Bhagwan is saying, it's me. He's making it very clear. And then Bhagwan said, this is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is now disclosed to you by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and he will endeavor, and his endeavors will know perfection. Now he's starting with divine and demoniac natures. So God has given all these things. Some people will believe and some people do not believe. Some people do not believe in God. So we in the world will call them, demoniac natures. Okay, so Bhagwan is not going to talk about who are demoniac and who are divine. śrībhagavānuvācha abhayaṃ sattvasaṃśuddhirjñānayōgavyavasthitiḥ dānaṃ damaścha yajñaścha svādhyāyastapa ārjavam ahiṃsā satyamakrōdhastyāgaḥ śāntirapaiśunam dayā bhūtēṣvalōluptvaṃ mārdavaṃ hrīrachāpalam tējaḥ kṣamā sauchamadrōhō nātimānitā bhavanti sampadam devim abhijatasya bharata. Now he is going to talk about the divine qualities. What is the divine nature? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness. Number one, fearlessness. Purification of one's existence. Cultivation of spiritual knowledge. Charity. Self-control. Performance of yajna, sacrifice. Study of the Vedas. Svādhyāya. Austerity. Simplicity. Non-violence. Truthfulness. Freedom from anger. Renunciation. Tranquility. Aversion to fault finding. Freedom from compassion for all living entities. Freedom from covetousness. Gentleness. Modesty. Steady determination. Vigor. Forgiveness. Fortitude. Cleanliness. And freedom from envy. And from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. Saintly people. Who is a saint? You all are saints. If you develop these qualities. Okay? So it starts from fearlessness. Purification of one's existence. When you're on the path of God, we approach God with God-loving nature, not God-fearing. Do not, people in the world, they worship God because they're fearing something. If they do not worship God, something wrong will happen. Fear is instilled in worshipping God. No, that's not how it is. How can you fear Krishna? He's so sweet. Look at him. Fear will run away. How can you fear Krishna? So, when you are on this path, number one quality is fearlessness. You should never fear. Second one is purification of one's existence. We know we have come to this world. We know out of ignorance, we have done so many things which we should not have done. Sometimes we regret. We feel guilty. But that was done in ignorance. But Gita is trying to remove the ignorance. Bhagwan, through his knowledge, is trying to remove that ignorance. He's always encouraging us to self-introspect. And in that self-introspection, if you find anything negative in you, do not fear. It's okay. You watch it. You see it. And then you make a resolution. I'll remove it. You have come to this world. This world is an impure place. Impurities may touch you sometimes. Our saints, they compare this world like a house made out of kajal, coal, black eyeliner. And somebody wears a white cloth and says, oh, I am a very pure person. I will always be, in this white. And he walks in this house made up of this kajal, this coal. It is impossible that the white cloth will not get a stain of the coal. It will. So we are in this world. We are thrown in this world. This world is full of Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Satoguna is rarely to be found. We are trying to be in Satoguna in the mode of goodness all the time. But yes, mode of passion and mode of ignorance, they do touch us. So we may become impure, but doesn't matter. We take this knowledge, we start applying in our life, and we purify our existence. We had come unknowingly, but we leave knowingly. We should know the knowledge. Maybe we were sinners in the past, but no more. We develop these qualities and we go towards the divine nature. We become saintly. That's all. So, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge. How will you purify your existence? You have to have the knowledge. So, we get that knowledge from the spiritual books. We read, we do satsanga, we try to practice that. Charity. Charity means giving something, whatever you have, to others. So charity is very, very important. And sometimes people think to give charity, we have to have money. Many times people will say, oh, I want to give charity, but I don't have the money. And I always say, no, it's not about the money. It's about your intention. You can do charity every day, and every day you must do charity. You must make this resolution that I will do some charity. Some charity every day. Talking something nice to someone. Giving them moral support is charity. You eat food, some dry fruits or something, you should always keep in your bag or somewhere, in your car. If you see some beggar on the street, give that. Water. We drink water, keep one water bottle, small water bottle. If you see somebody on the street, give. This is if you go out. What if you're at home? You can feed the animals. You can feed the birds. You can keep water for the birds. So here you don't need so much money, right? The water comes in your tap, fill it in a nice bowl, keep it outside. Buy bird feeders, keep it outside. So this is one way of the charity. Other charity, okay, this is also not possible. We live in a place where we can't do all this. No problem. At least at home you are chanting, right? That chanting, whatever the merits are there, you dedicate it. For some person or the other whom you want to dedicate, start from there. One person you remember and you dedicate to them. Slowly develop. First you will dedicate to your family members because they are your closest. Then you will dedicate to your friends because they are your closest too. Then slowly rise above that. Start dedicating it to all those people whom you hate. They are your enemies. Dedicate it to them. Do charity. So here no money is going, no interaction is happening, but all your merits of good karma, dedicate. You first give it to Bhagwan and say, Bhagwan, I did this chanting. Let the good effects be, take care of this person. We never had good relation with each other, but I want that person to feel better. Talk like this to Bhagwan. Dedicate your merits to those people with whom you had bad relations in the past. It will help you. This is what is called purifying one's existence. Your consciousness, you are purifying. Chant the mantra loudly, sitting outside in nature. If you're going on walks, go for a walk, take your mala, chant it. When you're chanting the mantra loudly, the sound vibration goes everywhere in the ether. And that sound vibration benefits so many souls. You don't know. Around you, there are millions of souls traveling. We live in a very crowded world. We only see human beings, but there are souls. So your vibrations help these souls. It helps animals. Sound vibration, it will go anywhere and help anybody. You have no idea. When I made the Lalita Sahasranam series in English, long time ago, I didn't know the power of YouTube. I just did it because my father asked me to do it, and so I did it. Because my father was like, just say. And the father's disciples were, and I was caught in a place where I couldn't even escape. We were in Kamakhya, so we were all sitting together, and so one of the disciples comes and says, Didi, you have learned so much, so please speak. I'm like, what will I speak? No, it's okay. Guruji is there, ask him. No, he'll explain. I learned from him. He will explain. Then my father said, no, you're going to say. So I said, and after that, I told the one who was the guy who did the video, and he uploaded on YouTube. I said, now you're not going to ask me anything, and I'm not interested in anything. Done. Then people started writing comments. And he's like, Didi, are you looking at the comments? I said, don't even talk about the comments. I don't even want to look at the comments. If you can reply. I'm not interested. I told you, I just did it only for seva. I'm not interested in knowing what is happening. Whether they like me or whether they dislike my talks, I don't care. But after a few years, somebody wrote to me an email. And then first I ignored the email because I didn't want to get into public at all. But the email kept coming. So many people started writing emails. So one of these persons I contacted, I was like, okay, let me reply. So this person then this person was a European living somewhere in Yugoslavia. And I am like, wow, someone living in some remote village of Yugoslavia is listening to Lalita Sahasranam, the significance of Lalita Sahasranam, and it benefited him. And this person got connected with me. And then he kept asking questions after questions after questions after questions. So many, I used to reply on WhatsApp audio notes. But then, I realized, wow, sound vibration, where all it goes, whom it is benefiting, I do not know even. Whom Ma wants to benefit, I don't even know. So somebody from Yugoslavia, then somebody from Mauritius, somebody from Finland, some European countries. So I don't even know the village. Somebody from some Dutch village. European bodies contacting. Then there was an American person who contacted. He's like, can you please teach me Lalita Sahasranam? I cannot read the Sanskrit. So I used to sit with him for 1 hour for 10, 12 classes. I taught him. And then, the gratitude that they had with all tears in their eyes. That they wanted to read it so much. They wanted to understand it so much. And to me, I'm thinking this is such a simple thing, Lalita Sahasranam. But then I realized their state of mind. For them, that was like gems. And somebody giving them time and making them read. And they wanted to read it for somebody else. So then I realized the power of sound, power of ether, power of Ethernet, internet, how it goes, how it benefits, how it is helping people. We have no idea. So when I say do some charity, this is the charity you do. You chant, surrender it to God, leave it in ether. Your chant will help whom, where, we don't know. Just leave it on God. So, charity. Some way or the other, you have to do this. You have to make a resolution every day. Something I will do. My father used to teach this. There was a shloka in Sanskrit, which meant that if somebody is hungry coming to your home, you feed them. You feed them, it will satisfy their hunger. So you did a charity by feeding them. But that is only for temporary. But if you give knowledge to someone, That knowledge is going to help them for life. So this is the charity that you must develop. Become knowledgeable. Knowledge of Gita. Give it. Give it to people. Any knowledge that you have. You may be good in Ayurveda. Give that knowledge. You may be good in yoga. Give that knowledge. Knowledge is such a beautiful thing. See, when you give grains or money, you will see that, say, you have like $10 and you gave charity $5. So on the face of it, it looks like your $5 were reduced, right? And that it went to that person. That person gained, but you lost 5. On the face of it, it looks like that. But it is not like that, okay? In reality, the more you give, the more it will come. Somehow that's how it is. The universe is like that. If somebody is a giver, the universe is a provider. It provides. So with like dollars you gave $5, your $5, on the face of it, it looks that, okay, your $5 was reduced, but you gave $5, somebody else gained the $5. But with knowledge, it is not like that. Whatever knowledge you have, no matter how many people you give, your knowledge remains with your knowledge. And everybody else also gains. Your knowledge does not reduce. Everybody else is also gaining. And when you are sharing knowledge with people, they also share their own experiences, everything. In fact, you will see that the knowledge will increase more. So this is the best charity if you can give somebody. Charity of knowledge. Knowledge also, the right knowledge. So if you are good in something, do that. Teach for free. If you are good at yoga, teach for free. If you are good in Ayurveda, teach for free. Mentor people. So your charity is happening. Okay. So you have to just think of all these ideas. Whatever level you can do charity, you must do. Look into your closets. So many shirts, so many pants, so many dresses. You're not even going to wear them. I have seen ladies, when they were young and they were slim, those dresses, they're so attached to the dresses. Now they have put on weight. But they still think that one day I will become that 20-year-old again and I'll wear that dress again. And they've kept it in their closet, taking space for like 20 years. Take it out. Give it in charity to some street girl who is 20-year-old who cannot afford. Give it. How much attachment do you want to carry with you? You wore it, you enjoyed it, done. Give it. See your closet, so many things you will have, to donate it. Donate it. It will help you clear your consciousness, clear your attachments, purify your existence. So Bhagwan started saying, first be fearless. Then purify your existence, cultivate spiritual knowledge, do charity. So, got it now? So many ways you can do charity. Second is self-control. We know, of course, we should not go overboard in anything. Everything has to be in control. Performance of sacrifice. Sacrifice means yajña. And Bhagavan has recommended for this yoga, chanting Bhagwan's name is the biggest yajña you can do. So keep chanting Bhagwan's name. That's the biggest yajña. Study of the Vedas. Bhagwan, many places he has spoken about svādhyāya. Very important. So we chant Bhagwan's name. It is good. But at the same time, we must learn scriptures. We must take out time to learn Bhagavad Gita. Contemplate. Learn means people by heart shlokas, which is very good if they can. But I always focus on contemplation, developing that manan, that chintan, you have to think on it. And then apply it in your life. So Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasan. This is all Swadhyaya. You heard something in Bhagavad Gita, contemplate, and put it in practice. This is svādhyāya. Okay. So, svādhyāya. And then tapasya. Do your tapa. Then there is another word called dama. Dama means control of your mind. So control of your mind, control of your organs, senses, all this you have to practice. Study of Vedas, austerity, and then Bhagwan says ārjavam. Ārjavam is simplicity. Very, very, very important quality. Become as simple as possible. The world has taught us to be always calculative, manipulative. The world teaches us to lie. And we think lying is okay. It's harmless lie. I will always say, no. I know the power of being truthful. Even that harmless lie that we do, it affects our consciousness. We are on this path. Being truthful is an austerity. One spoke about austerity, and then he speaks austerity, and then he says simplicity. Being truthful is an austerity. Casually lying also, why do you want to be aware? Ignorant, you have been doing it in the past, so it has become your habit to lie, to cover up your faults. Because the world has taught you like that. Cover up your faults, lie, put it on others, your problems, put it on others, blame the others. Not taking the onus of responsibility. Don't do this. Be very simple. Be what you are. Let people know the truthful you. First, they may dislike, so what? This is you. They will accept you. So, austerity, simplicity. Bhagwan says, I don't like chal kapat. Chal means cheating. Kapat means cunningness, shrewdness. Bhagwan says, I don't like it. Your heart has to be nirmal. Consciousness has to be nirmal. Nirmal means, mal means dirt. Nirmal means without dirt. So clear, pure heart is where Bhagwan lives. You go to the temple, right? We don't throw trash in the temple. We clean the temple. Where does Bhagwan live? He told us in 15:15. Sarvasya hridhi chaham sannavishto. I live in everybody's hriday. So your heart, can you throw trash in the heart? Lying is trash. Shrewdness is trash. Cheating is trash. Anger is trash. Greed is trash. Pride is trash. Arrogance is trash. Do you want to throw the trash in your heart where God lives? No. Clean your heart. Make it simple, simple, very simple. Whatever you are inside, reflect that quality outside. Be like a child. No games. Be normal. Be simple. So Bhagwan plays a lot of emphasis on simplicity. So study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence. So one non-violence we know, sacrificing animals for our taste buds. No, strictly no. But other non-violence is, we don't speak hurtful words. Maybe we are tempted to speak many a times. In anger we do. But because of the past habits we have been doing, but now we are reading it and now we are walking in this path. So we have to be very aware. Our heart will say it. Don't do it then. If your heart says don't do it, leave it. Find out other ways to convey your anger or whatever you want to convey. Find out some nicer way to convey your anger. But do not hurt people. It's better to go quiet. But hurting them purposefully, speaking sarcastic words, taunting. It doesn't make you feel good, and it will only increase the fire. So learn that. Learn to talk. It's not like you should not speak it out. You speak it out, but your language, even when you are speaking, you should know what you are speaking. And if by chance you lost control, you must immediately be able to say sorry. When you come back to your senses, oh, I'm sorry, I did it in anger. I did not mean it at all. Speak it. Be truthful. For your consciousness, okay? It's all for you. Because now your path is path of God. So all these qualities you have to develop. There's no other option. This is austerity. Leaving the past bad qualities and developing good qualities is an austerity. Truthfulness. I told you I started from that. Be truthful always. Always. People cheat God also, I've seen. Okay. So don't do that. Truthfulness, freedom from anger. Renunciation. Again, renunciation is detachment, giving up everything. Tranquility, peace of your mind. Never lose it. Never lose it. My father used to focus so much on this because I had one very big, quality, anger management. Usually I won't get angry. It's like I'm like that, the bull. I'm a Taurian, so I'm like the bull. I won't get angry. I'm very peaceful most of the time. But if I get angry, then that's it. Then I don't know what I'm speaking, what I'm doing, what I'll do. So my father used to always control me. And then he used to tell me, you are praying to Yogananji day in and day out. What did he teach you? You should always have the fort of peace inside your heart. If you lose that, then what's the point? Yeah. That time, I used to I was young, so young blood anyways. But then later on, it is so important. Bhagwan has spoken about it so many times. Disturbing my own peace of mind is not worth it. I used to do sadhanas for hours. But again, this realization only came when my sadhana started, sadhana duration started increasing. It never comes if you just do sadhana for 45 minutes, 1 hour, and you get up and then you're back to the world. If you do sadhana or meditation, whatever you're doing, only as a routine, you will not realize the importance of this. But when you increase your duration of sadhana, the more you're sitting in sadhana, obviously you are cut off from the world, and you're with God and gurus. And then when you get out of the sadhana, say, you will be in a zone which is very peaceful. And then when you mix up in the world, and if somebody has made you angry and you reacted, then all that hard work that you did, it really goes for waste and you start feeling it. It's like you earned money with some hard work, and then with some stupidity, you just lost all the money. How bad you will feel. You earn so much money and then you go to the bar and you spend it on some people, and then done. You're left with nothing. What's the point? You wasted it all. All your hard work gone to drain. Similarly, when on the spiritual path, you are like, when you're sitting for hours, developing that consciousness, purifying, you will know your heart is becoming pure. You will know what you are becoming. Slowly, you'll be so closer to your real self. And at that moment, if somebody has come and disturbed you and you reacted, and that reaction went on to do the next day meditation, you're again disturbed. You're in your meditation, you're again talking to that person and fighting. It's not good for you. Wasted the effort. So we have to be very careful about that. So that is why they'll say, okay, you have to practice meditation in seclusion. So practice seclusion. You don't need, many times people are afraid of cutting off their circle, social circle, when they're on the spiritual path. I'm telling you, I'm not afraid of all that. I cut it off because the peace of the mind was so important, and I was getting so closer to myself. Getting closer to myself, knowing me, gave me the highest joy. I really wanted to be basking in their joy all the time. Then coming to the world, and then world triggering me, and then I going back to my old habit is a waste of time. I have to be careful about it. That awareness has to be carried all the time. So it so happened when I mix up in the world, I go with that awareness. Things will trigger, people will behave bad. Under all circumstances, I cannot lose my peace of mind. If I am losing it, I should know what to do, how to tackle it, come out of it. If I lost it, because it will happen. If I lost it, it should be only external. It should not go and disturb my internal peace. So how do I do that? Because when you are losing your temper, I've done all this, so I'm telling you. So when I used to meditate on the person whom I lost temper, our first reaction is that person's mistake, not me. But when you sit on meditation, you remember that person again. And you bring God in between. And you say to God, God, maybe it's my mistake, maybe his mistake. Maybe out of ego, we are not able to judge who. You alone are the judge. But I will give you my love. That person, he's not in front of you right now. Whoever it could be. You give them full love. You beg for forgiveness and you forgive them. And then you beg for forgiveness from God. And genuinely fill your heart with love. Genuinely fill your heart with love. And just visualize that love, is like a white light going on that person and going on in you. Maybe sometimes you will melt, you'll start crying also. But do this. It cleanses your heart. Do this. So freedom from anger. Anger will come, but anger has to be only that much. You should know where to control the anger. It should not go deep inside your subconscious mind at all. Anger, my father used to teach me, anger is like the fire. When you go to the kitchen, you on the gas, you know how much it has to be. You know how to control the fire. When the fire has to be medium, when it has to be high, when it has to be low. Same way with your anger. You should know when it can go high, when it can go low, when it has to be on sim, when it has to be off. You should know. So this is very, very important. So anger is going to come. Think of Krishna. He was angry. Because of his anger only this war happened. But how did he respond in his anger? His smile, he never lost. Who can smile? A person who is peaceful can only smile. So become that peaceful person. When we think of Vishnuji is always sitting on that Sheshanag. And he's always smiling. Sheshanag means you're sitting on a serpent. It can bite you anytime. So full of poison. So the world is like that. So full of poison. Still, you chill. You be there. You don't lose your peace of mind. Okay? That's how you have to be. If you love Bhagwan Vishnu, be like him. If you love Shiva, be like him. My father used to teach me so many things about Shiva. Shiva's family. What is the family? Just look at the family. The closest family members are always in fight. To have a wife like Durga, she becomes Jwala Malini sometimes. She becomes Chandika sometimes. All that Shaktis come from her. If she gets angry, even Lakshmi ji, when she got angry, all Jwala Malinis are coming out of Lakshmi ji. She's so peaceful, right? So Shiva is having Gauri, and Gauri, when she gets angry, who comes out? Chandika, Kali, everybody comes out from her. My father used to say, just imagine having a wife like this. And yet, how is Shiva? Always peaceful. Not only that, he's wearing garland of not flowers, snakes all over his body. Here also snake, here also snake, here also snake, here also snake. He is not afraid, fearless. Sit, meditate, let the snakes crawl. Who cares? What are the snakes? Your situations in life. Be like Shiva. He does not go and earn money. Sits in the graveyard whole time. His wife, Parvati. She will be getting so angry. A person who does not earn, and look at the son, Ganesha, how much he wants to eat. So Parvati is busy in the kitchen probably the whole day cooking for Ganesha. She never complains. Or maybe she must be complaining. Maybe they are fighting. But even after their fight, how peaceful they are. They are very such a loving family. Ganesha sits on a mouse. And Kartikeya, he is a fighter. He has a peacock. So the peacock is always looking at the snake. The snake is always looking at the mouse. And Shiva sits on a bull. Durga sits on a lion. The lion is always looking at the bull. Just imagine the situation in his house. My dad said, this is how the world is. There is always a fear from the closest one. But yet, you live happily, just like Shiva. Your peace of mind should not go away. What is Shiva doing? Always meditating Ram, 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 Ram. You also meditate. So, tranquility. Look at Shiva, be tranquil. Or look at Vishnu, Shantakaram Bhujagachayanam. Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam. Be like him, sleeping on snakes. Yet, what is his akar? Shantakaram, peaceful, tranquil. All right. So, tranquility. Aversion to fault finding, very important quality. Do not find fault in others. Okay. Compassion for all living entities. Freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness. I have spoken about forgiveness so many times. Always you have to forgive. Ask forgiveness and give forgiveness. Forgive too, both. Okay. So forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, cleanliness of mind, cleanliness of body, cleanliness of speech. Body be clean, taking a shower daily. Mind, we have to always be very careful. Fill it up with good positive thoughts. Even harboring negative thoughts towards ourselves is contaminating the mind. Always harbor positive thoughts for yourself. Always remember you are God's child. You are God's fragment. Always think positively about yourself and about others. So cleanse your mind every day with the thoughts and the words given by Bhagwan in Gita. And Vani. Vani is also, you can only purify your Vani by talking good and eating good. So, Shaucham in all these three places. So, cleanliness of mind, body, and in one's dealings, that is what we do. Then Bhagwan says, Adroho, nātimānitā. Adroho, freedom from envy. We don't have droh from anybody. And from the passion for honor. Okay. Amanita means we give respect to others, but we are not expecting anything else from them. These are the transcendental qualities. These are the divine qualities. O son of Bharata, these belong to the men, to godly men endowed with divine nature. All right. Now, Bhagwan goes on. What are the qualities of people who are in demoniac nature? We are not demons, okay? None of you are demoniac. First of all, remember that. While reading this, some of the qualities you might feel, oh, I have this. Just say, maybe I have it. I will walk on this path and I will remove it. We are not demoniac. We are godly people. And that is why God has chosen us to give the teachings of Gita. Maybe some minuses we have, God is choosing us to give that lecture, to help us overcome them. So we are now going to read demoniac qualities. Okay. Dambho darpō'bhimānaścha krodha parushyam evacha ajñānam jātasya parthasampadam asurim. What are the demoniac qualities? Pride, ghamand, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These are demoniac nature. Dambha, darpa, abhiman, krodh, parushyam, ajñānam. All these are demoniac. What happens when you have a divine quality? Devi sampada vimokshaya nibandhaya asurimata masucha sampadam devim abhijato asi pandavaha. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demoniac qualities cause bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with divine qualities. It's for us also, okay? Do not worry. Ma suchaha. Only listen to those words which will help you grow positively in your life. Don't listen to negative words. Many times people only focus on the negative, and then the listener has heard so much negative and so much aprad, so much that they feel like they're nowhere. I will always say, don't listen. Listen to the positive words which help you grow. Bhagwan just says, no, ma suchaha. Don't worry. Become fearless. Yes, Bhagwan, we are fearless. Because you are born with divine qualities. Yes, Bhagwan. No matter the inside voice is telling, the internal voice, some voice is like, no. You have this many shortcomings. So what? So what? I am still Bhagwan's. All right? Okay. So the transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, and demonic qualities are conducive to bondage. O son of Pritha, in this world, there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine. The other is called demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me the demoniac. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasuraha na shaucham napi chacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done, what is not to be done, neither cleanliness, nor proper behavior, nor truth is found in them. Asatyamakrōdhastyāgaḥ jagadahuranishwaram aparasparasamբhūtam kim anyat kamahaitukam. They say that this world is unreal. No foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced out of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Following such conclusions, the demoniac, who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. In the purport, Prabhupada writes that these are materialists who have no concept of God and they think they are advancing. But according to Bhagavad Gita, they are unintelligent and devoid of all sense. They try to enjoy this material world to the utmost limit. And therefore, they are always engaging in inventing something for sense gratification. Such materialistic inventions are considered to be advancement of human civilization. But the result is that people grow more and more violent and more cruel to animals and cruel to other human beings. They have no idea how to behave toward one another. Animal killing is very prominent amongst demoniac people. Such people are considered the enemies of the world because ultimately they will invent or create something that will be the destruction of all. Indirectly, this verse anticipates the inventions of nuclear weapons, of which the whole world is today very proud. At any moment, war may take place, and these atomic weapons may create havoc. Such things are created solely for the destruction of the world, and this is indicated here. Due to godlessness, such weapons are invented in human society. They are not meant for the peace and the prosperity of the world. Kāmamāśritya duṣpuram dambamānamadānvitaha moha grihat vasadgrahan pravartante suchivratah. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige. The demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work attracted by impermanent. So they have all these unclean vows. Their whole thing, their whole thinking is sex enjoyment and having accumulation of material wealth. They don't care about anything. You look at the drug mafias. What do? They just want money. They will spread drugs, the cartels. What do? Drugs are going everywhere. Young kids selling drugs in school like candies. This is demoniac. You are not thinking at all what kind of future you are creating. And for drugs, they'll kill anybody. They don't care. For them, making money and unlimited sex enjoyment. This is what it is. So these are demoniac qualities, They are asuchihi. They are not pure in mind at all. At all. They can do anything. Okay. So this is asuchi, unclean habits. They can kill anybody. They are induced by pride. They are induced by false prestige. They create their own religions. Satanic religions, have you heard of? You must have heard of it. Satanic religions. So they have their own religions, and so many rich and the famous, they follow these religions. Satan. So this is demoniac. They induce by pride and false prestige. They create some principles of religion which are not approved by the Vedic injunctions. Although such demoniac people are most abominable in the world, they by artificial means, the world creates a false honor for them. So they are there everywhere. And we feel they are the respected people of the society, but they are demoniac in nature. Although they are gliding towards hell, they consider themselves very advanced. Chintam aparimeyam cha pralayantam upashitah kamopabhega parama etavadeti nishitah ashapasha satairbadha samakrodha parayana yante kama bhogartam anyanarthe sanchayan. These demoniac people, they believe that to gratify the sense is the primary necessity of human life, human civilization. Thus, until the end of their life, their anxiety is immeasurable. People do drug trafficking. They make so much money. You think their life is peaceful. What is the point of living in such anxiety all the time? Bound by a network of thousands of hundreds of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. People who evade taxes, they have millions of money. They are putting money here and there, trying to save their money. Do you think they're peaceful? They're rich. But the peace is gone because they're always afraid. What if someday they will be caught? And then they have to do so many things to cover up, pay so many people to cover up their whatever wrongdoings they are doing. So these are all illegal, living illegally, earning money by illegal means, thinking that they'll be peaceful, but peace is nowhere. So, and their goal of life is just to enjoy the senses, and they continue this concept till their death. They think this is what it is. This life is all it is. But no, Gita talks about you will come back. You will come back in lower species of life, suffering. You were given all the freedom in this life. You used all your intelligence, maya pritjnana, to do all the things which you should not be doing. Don't think that this is it, because Bhagwan started saying they believe that there is no God. They believe from there is no God. Who is watching us? We will do. Who is watching us? But the suffering will be there. Okay. Idam madhya maya labdham imam prapsya manoratham idam astidam api me bhavishyati punardhanam aso maya hata shatrur hanishye chaparanapi ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi adhyobhi janavanasmi konyo asti sadrisho maya yakshe dasyami modishya iti yajnana vimohita. Bhagwan is describing so perfectly he describes. Bhagwan says the demoniac person thinks, so much wealth I have today, and I will gain more. according to my schemes. So he's always scheming to earn money through all wrong measures. So much is mine now, and it will increase in future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. They also, as I told you, there are satanic churches where they perform sacrifices. They have their own rituals. Tamasic. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity. And thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. Thus, perplexed by the various anxieties and bound by a network of illusion, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. So it happens, they will not escape. Maybe many times people question, oh, they are doing all wrong things, but they are enjoying life. Maybe now they are enjoying, but they will not escape their karma. Whatever seeds they are sowing, they will have to eat that fruit. And when they eat that fruit, they become, they'll be really helpless. They can't do anything. I have seen people in India. I was going, in Bombay, I was going through a place and there is a big building. It was in the middle of the street while going to Powai. So I asked my friend, oh, who built this building? Such a beautiful building, but nobody's living. He said, yeah, so this person, this builder, is a very, very renowned builder. He was a very renowned builder. He built many buildings in Hiranandani area. And then he built this building and put all his money in this building. And then he was caught by the government for doing fraud. And now he's in jail. Similarly, there were many other companies who were loaning money to people and they did fraud and they're all in jail. So they're lucky, at least they got in jail now. They have suffered for whatever wrongdoings. But there are certain people who don't get into jail. They evade. They know how to come out of all this. They are so expert. They know how to evade all these things. But Bhagwan's jail, they will have to come and suffer. It is impossible that he will not. And when they come, from childhood itself, they'll be suffering. People question, right? Why me? Why am I suffering? Because you have done certain karmas in the past because of which you are suffering. And if that question arises in you, why me? And if you accept, okay, I might have done some karma in the past because of which I am suffering now. How can I change the karmas? By doing right now, good karma now. And what is the best karma? By remembering God and doing everything for God. Maybe this life will go in poverty. Maybe I was a very rich king in the past life. Maybe this life I have to suffer. No problem. I will do good karmas. So you can change. You have the freedom to change. This is what Gita is meant for. So here Bhagwan says, those who are demoniac, they are so ignorant. Even if they, if somebody says, do charity, they will say, okay, I will do charity. What is the purpose of charity? But, by doing charity, you will gain more money. So they will do charity only to gain money. This is what they are doing. All the wrong schemes they will be having. Fooling people and thinking they are intelligent. So here they say, Bhagwan is saying, such people will be always perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusion. They become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and they fall down to hell. Here Bhagwan says the word mohajala. Aneka chitta vibhranta mohajala samanvritah. Mohajal, apne mohajal mein fas jate hain. So mohajala word is very significant here. Jal means a web. They fall into their own web. Okay, own net. Like a fish is caught in a net, then they have no way to come out. So they get stuck in their own net. All right, jala. Atmasambhavita stabda dhanamānaṃ madānvitāha yajante nāma yajñaste dambhen avidhi purvakam. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules and regulations. This thinking themselves in all and not caring for any authority or scripture, the demoniacs sometimes perform so-called religious or sacrificial rites, and since they do not believe in authority, they are very impudent. This is due to illusion caused by accumulating some wealth and false prestige. Sometimes such demons take up the role of preachers also. I have seen and mislead the people. Oh my God, this is the worst. This is the worst, and this is very existent even now. So many teachers I have seen deluding the people. So here, these are demoniac. They appear as preachers, they appear as good, but they are demoniac. They play with the mind of the student, they play with a lot of things. So here, sometimes such demons take up the role of preacher, mislead the people, and become known as religious reformers or incarnations of God. They make a show of performing sacrifices, or they worship demigods or manufacture their own God. That also is there. Common men advertise them as God. We have seen in our times itself, so many con men as guru. Now they are in jail. Common men advertise them as God and worship them, and by the foolish, they are considered advanced in the principles of religion or in the principles of spiritual knowledge. They take the dress of the renounced order of life and engage in all nonsense in that dress. Actually, there are so many restrictions for one who has renounced in this world. The demons, however, do not care for such restrictions. They think that whatever path one creates is his own path, and there is no one thing as standard path one has to follow. The word avidhi purvakam here. Yajante nama yajñaste dambhena avidhi purvakam. Wrongly. So the word avidhi purvakam, meaning disregard for rules and regulation, is especially stressed here. These things are always due to ignorance and illusion. Ahaṃsā balam darpam kāmakrodham ca samsrita māmapetya māmatma paradeheshu pradvishanto bhayasukhaha. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust and anger, the demons become envious of Bhagwan, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are lowest among men, now Bhagwan is telling what I do to such people. I perpetually cast them into the ocean of material existence and into various demoniac species of life. So in this world, it is clearly stated that the placing of a particular individual soul in a particular body is the prerogative of the supreme will. So now you are acting freely, but when the supreme will comes, you will not be able to. The demoniac person may not agree to the supremacy of the Lord, and it is a fact that he may act according to his own whims. But in his next birth, it will depend upon the supreme will of Lord and not on himself. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 3rd canto, it is stated that an individual soul after his death is put into the womb of a mother, where he gets a particular type of body under the supervision of superior power. Therefore, in the material existence, we find so many species of life, animals, insects, and so on. All are arranged by the superior power. They are not accidental. As for the demoniac, it is clearly said here that they are perpetually put into the wombs of demons. And thus they continue to be envious, the lowest of mankind. Such demoniac species of men are held to be always full of lust, always violent and hateful, and always unclean. The many kinds of hunters in the jungle are considered to belong to the demoniac species of life. Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. I'll read the purport. It is known that God is all merciful. But here we find that God is never merciful to the demoniac. It is clearly stated that the demoniac people, life after life, are put into womb of similar demons, and not achieving the mercy of Supreme Lord, they go down and down, so that at last they achieve bodies of cats, dogs, hogs. It is clearly stated that such demons have practically no chance of receiving the grace of God at any stage of later life. In the Vedas, it is also stated that such persons gradually sink to become dogs and hogs. It may be then argued in this connection that God should not be advertised as merciful if he is not merciful to such demons. In answer to this question, in the Vedanta Sutra, we find that the Supreme Lord has no hatred for anyone. The placing of the asuras, the demons, in the lowest status of life is simply another feature of his mercy. Sometimes the asuras are killed by the Supreme Lord, but this killing is also good for them. For in Vedic literature, we find that anyone who is killed by the Supreme Lord becomes liberated. So again, got it? So it might appear that God is not merciful, but in Vedanta Sutra, what is written? It is said that God is putting them into all these yonis for them to work out their karmas. Why are we put into these yonis? This science you must understand. If you understand the science, it becomes very easy. You are a lusty person. You want to enjoy lust. So at the time of death, you are just thinking of so many women. I just want women around me. This human life is gone. You are dying with the consciousness, I only want women around me. No problem. I want unrestricted sex. No problem. You leave the body. Mother Nature, give him a body of a pigeon, unrestricted sex. Give him the body of a cat, unrestricted sex. Give him a body of a dog. You wanted it. You change your consciousness like that. You are in this human body. You love one woman so much dearly. I cannot be without that woman. I have to be only with that woman. Loyal to one. Yet not God conscious. So you are that woman conscious, whoever you are loyal to. And that woman is also very attached to you. Both of you. Hans Hansani ka joda. So you die. But you are dying in that consciousness. I want only that person who and I want to spend my life with that person. And that person also is dying in that consciousness. I want to spend my life with this person. Both of you are dying in that consciousness. If you are lucky, you will come back. If you have done anything spiritually, you will come back to human life. If you have not done anything spiritually, you are just in that rajogun and you are dying with that consciousness. Yes, nature will make an arrangement. Make this soul a Hans, make this female soul a Hansini. Hans Hansini, swans. They're always loyal to each other. A swan, they'll have only one partner. They will not go to anybody else. But then there are other people. Oh no, we have one wife at home, but we need others outside. No problem. Become a dog in the next life. You want to behave like a dog, so behave like a dog. You want to behave like a cat, behave like a cat. You want to eat dirty food, behave like that animal. No problem. So understand. So God is giving this arrangement has been made by nature to help you satisfy your lust of whatever lust you have. Once that lust is satisfied, you will be given human body again. Still you want to continue with that lusty habit, continue them. Billions and billions of lives you continue like that. This is what this shloka means. And in the end, when everything goes out of control, like you have become like the worst person, like a Ravana or like a Kamsa, God is still merciful. You become a Bhandasur, God is still merciful. You become a Shumbanishum, God is still merciful. He'll say, okay, I will come. I will kill him and I will give him liberation. So God's mercy is like that. First, you will have to suffer. And if you have become the worst version of yourself, then Bhagwan comes and does something else. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His law works. This is what is explained here. Got it? So that is why Prabhupada's purport, this purport is very important. he took this purport and he has written about from the Vedanta Sutra. And there are instances in history of many asuras, Ravana, Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, to whom the Lord appeared in various incarnations just to kill them. Therefore, God's mercy is shown to the asuras if they are fortunate enough to be killed by him. 21st Shloka, he says, Trividam narkasyedam dvaram nashanam atmanah Trividam narkasyedam dvaram nashmana atmanah kama krodhas tatha lobhas tasmadat etatrayam tyajet. Bhagavan says, so these people are put into hell for many, many lives. And what is hellish life? Forget about some other hell. While you are living itself, your life is a living life is a hell. When you are living in so much stress, so much anxiety, all the time trying to protect yourself, your people, your wealth, your mind so contaminated. Living life is a hell. Beyond that, there are hellish planets too. But Bhagavan now says, what are the three doors for this hell? From where did it all come? How did somebody become an asura? Bhagavan says, three doors. Kama, Krodha, Tatha, Lobha. You became an asura because you didn't have control over your kama. Kama means lust. You didn't have control over your greed. You did not have control over your anger. So there are three gates leading to hell. Lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give up these, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. They lead to the degradation of the soul. The man who escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. So Bhagavan told the lower destinations. Bhagavan told what are the three things that will put you into lower species. And now Bhagavan is saying, control over them, control your lust, control your anger, control your greed. And one who has done this, he will start working towards his self-realization. He will start attaining, walking towards the path of the supreme destination. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims and fancies attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Tashma shastram pramanam te karya karyavavastito gyatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartum iharasi. Bhagavan says one should therefore understand what is duty, what is the righteous work, what is not duty by the regulation of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulation, one should act so that he may be gradually elevated. This is what we have to understand from the Gita. One should know what is right, what is wrong. So, I'll just read the purport and then we'll end it up here. As stated in the 15th chapter, all rules and regulations of the Vedas are meant for knowing Krishna. If one understands Krishna from Bhagavad Gita and becomes situated in Krishna consciousness, engaging himself in devotional service, he has reached the highest perfection of knowledge offered by the Vedic literature. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made this process very easy. He asked people simply to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and to engage in the devotional service of the Lord and eat the remnants of foodstuff offered to the deity. One who is directly engaged in all these devotional activities is to be understood as having studied all Vedic literatures. He has come to the conclusion perfectly. Of course, for the ordinary persons who are not in Krishna consciousness or who are not engaged in devotional service, what is to be done and what is not to be done must be decided by the injunction of the Vedas. One should act accordingly without argument. That is called following the principles of Shastra or scripture. Shastra is without the four principal defects that are visible in conditioned soul. Imperfect senses, the propensity for cheating. Shastras are pure, okay? So these defects are not there. What are the defects? Imperfect senses. This is not spoken. This Shastra, Gita Shastra, is not spoken by ordinary person with imperfect senses. This is spoken by Bhagwan, Rishikesha, the Lord of the senses, Govinda, the one who gives pleasure to the senses. Gopal, who takes care of the senses. So this Gita Shastra is perfect because it does not have this defect, imperfect senses. Second defect is the propensity of cheating. People translate, people talk, people behave like gurus. People give good sermons, but sometimes they are cheating. We have seen in this world how so many famous gurus have fallen down because of the propensity of cheating. But Bhagwan, he is not cheating. How can he cheat? Whom will he cheat? When he says, all of you are my part and parcel. How can you cheat our own? You cannot. Bhagwan has no greed to cheat. Everything belongs to him. He is Bhagwan. All the 6 opulences are belonging to him. Why will he cheat? He has no greed. He has nothing that he wants. He is not giving Gita as in sitting in a hall in a chair, and everybody saying Krishna Bhagwan ki jai, and then he's giving a sermon. No, he's not giving. What is the place he has chosen to give Gita? Just see the place. And to whom is he giving? My friend, he says, Sakha, you are my bhakto asi sa sakha cheti. You are my devotee and you are my friend. I'm giving it to you. No cheating here. This is not spoken by an ordinary person who wants to become something great. No marketing here, no PR here. So these are the 4 defects of normal Shastra, but this is not here. So Shastra is without the 4 principal defects that are visible in the conditioned soul: imperfect senses, propensity for cheating, certainty of committing mistakes. Humans will commit mistakes, Bhagwan will not. And certainty of being illusioned. But here there is no illusion. Bhagwan is Swayam Prakash. So these 4 principal defects in conditioned life disqualify one from putting forth rules and regulation. Therefore, the rules and regulation described in this Shastra, being about these defects, are accepted without alteration by all great saints, acharyas, and great souls. In India, there are many parties of spiritual understanding, generally classified as 2, the impersonalist and the personalist. Both of them, however, lead their lives according to the principle of the Vedas. Without following the principles of scriptures, one cannot elevate himself to the perfectional stage. One who actually therefore understands the purport of the Shastras is considered to be fortunate. In human society, aversion to the principles of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of all fall downs. That is the greatest offense of human life. Therefore, Maya, the material energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always giving us trouble in the shape of the threefold miseries. This material energy is constituted of 3 modes of material nature. One has to raise himself at least to the mode of goodness before the path to understanding the Supreme Lord can be opened. Without raising oneself to the standard of the mode of goodness, one remains in ignorance and passion, which are the cause of demoniac life. Those in the modes of passion and ignorance deride the scriptures, deride the holy man, deride the proper understanding of Supreme Personality of Godhead. They disobey the instruction of the spiritual master, and they do not care for the regulation of scriptures. In spite of hearing the glories of devotional service, they are not attracted. Thus, they manufacture their own way of elevation. These are some of the defects of human society which lead to the demoniac status of life. If, however, one is able to be guided by a proper and bona fide spiritual master who can lead one to the path of elevation, to the higher stage, then one's life becomes successful. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports, the 16th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in the matter of divine and demoniac natures. So we finished the 16th chapter. Now there are only 2 more chapters left. By next week, we will be done with 17th and the 18th chapter also. So the next chapter is division of faith. So divine and demonic natures, similarly, our faith is divided into 3: mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And Bhagwan will talk of so many other things. So chapter 17 and chapter 18 are continuation. And Bhagwan will talk of sattva, raja, and tamo in everything. So next week, we will be done with Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Let me read your comments and then we'll end it up. Thank you, Bade Guruji. He made you speak and we got you Ma. In fact, two in one, mother and Guru in the same form. Yeah, thank you, Bade Guruji, for everything. I had this mentality before havoc started brewing in life, and it felt good to be on a corner. Now, as Gita is coming to close, it feels Shri Krishna is saying to me, start participating in the game of life again. He is by me. Non-violence, not to hurt other and self. Yes. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyam apriyam kada. Heart, the abode of peace. Yes. In one of the cardio 2D echo, the film showed the form of Shiva Lingam proper as graph for a coronary stented heart. Oh, really? I have not seen it. So wonderful. This devotee has maintained simplicity as peace within throughout life, and during his heart attack, he managed driving alone 259 kilometers to reach the hospital. Is it the strength of the soul and his sadhana? Yes, strength of the soul and his sadhana. If he has done it, yes. Jai Guru Ma, once you told us that in meditation you should give a rose to the person that we are angry on. I practice that and it is very effective. Wonderful. Whatever happens in this life, in my material relationships, I should not let anyone or anything disturb my only relationship with Krishna. Wonderful. Good resolution. And yes, you must give rose. I have seen above patient as mentioned, always surrounded by a non-tranquil environment, but found him always cheerful, silent, forgiving. First canto qualities of Lord have been specified by earth to the calf. Satyam, Saucham, Daya, Shanti, etc. Yes. In fact, these are desired leadership qualities to be inculcated by the leadership. Yes, true. I found you through your Lalita Sasnam videos, Guruma. Your pure, unrestrained emotions made me understand the Divine Mother Goddess in a totally different way. My love for her increased by many folds. From thinking of her as a Maharagni, you made me think of her as my Srimata first. Jai Ho. Like a spider dies in his own net. True. Dear Guruma, what happens to one's bad karma when all of a sudden one meets a sadhu? I have seen in scriptures many examples like Valmiki as a hunter when he met Narad Muni, and when Sadhu when Sadhu named Ajamil son as Narayan. Does that karma get accused? They have to work on that karma. They do that tapasya. They keep chanting. So you work on that tapasya. In between, yes, the karmas, bad karmas, you will be working. But you come to a stage of realization that, okay, whatever the bad karmas, the body is going to suffer. Done. But this is the last life. So yes, you may be a bad karmi. You may be the sinner of the past. But you are walking on the saintly path now. You'll become a saint. That is what will happen. There is no excuse, okay? Let me tell you one thing. By doing good karma, you're creating good things. By doing bad karmas, you will have to suffer. That suffering will be there. But your consciousness will have changed. As per the relative weight complex, the placing of demons or demon-likes is to train them into process of transformation to develop a pure crystal-like soul with grace infinite. Structural processes to eliminate unwanted stresses is a natural process to stabilize the character of the soul. Yeah. As a soul, everybody is pure. What became asuric, what became demoniac is the consciousness. So all we have to do is change the consciousness. Yep. So we have to transform the consciousness. This continues, and yet mercy is extended by the way of extraordinary patience and grace. This is for the persons whose power of soul is diminished by way of kām, krodha, and darpa. Excellent scientific lesson too, all by the Lord. Yes, got it. All right, so we end it up here, and then we meet next week with chapter 17. May you all have a good Krishnamay day and Krishnamay night. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Ma.
Charan Sparish.
Thank
Thank you, Ma. Thank you very much.
Have a happy
Jai
Sunday.
Guru.
You too. Bye-bye.